We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Punaktu Sahavir Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vittishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are doing revision of the Upanishads, which we have covered so far, and an introduction to the Upanishads, which we will be covering in future. So this is a good summary series of Upanishads. For those who are interested to study Upanishads, this will be a very good introduction to them. And once you understand what is the subject matter of Upanishads and where do I have to focus, then it becomes very easy. The entire spiritual study of Upanishads, Kama Sutra, Bhagavad Gita becomes very easy when you understand the goal. From all the Upanishads, we have taken up 13 Upanishads in this series of talks. Among all the Upanishads, Mandukya Upanishad is very significant, and it is one of the best Upanishads for realization. In fact, I would say it's the easiest Upanishad if you can understand the Bhashya. You don't need any other Upanishad for realizing your nature. It's good to study all Upanishads, at least 5-6 Upanishads, with Bhashya. Don't forget to study Upanishads with Bhashya, with Shankara Bhashya. It makes a huge difference. When you study Upanishad just by looking at the mantras and the meanings, and when you study the Upanishad with Shankara's commentary. Today we have finished the 2 chapters of Mandukya Upanishad, and we are going to enter the 3rd chapter called Advaita Prakarana. Before we enter the 3rd chapter, I'm going to give you a very small note on Prapancha Upashamam, which was the main topic in the 2nd chapter. Shankaracharya, when he gives the Bhashya, when he gives the commentary and an introduction to the verse of Kathopanishad, I'm digressing a little bit, but I think it is important. Therefore, I want to discuss this chart. The Kathopanishad Vedanta teaching starts from this 1st chapter, 1st section, 20th verse. And this is Nachiketa's question. We have covered Kathopanishad, so you can understand this question. When a man is dead, some say he exists, and some say he does not exist. O Yama Dharmaraja, I want to get from you the details of this confusion. Is there anything after death, or is there nothing after death? This was Nachiketa's question, asking for the 3rd boon. Shankaracharya interprets the 3rd boon as something which is beyond Anatma, beyond cause and effect, like the seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. So, in the introduction of this mantra, he gives the 6 characteristics of Anatma. This is extremely important for us to understand because during the study of Mandukya Upanishad or any Upanishad, we have to do Atma, Anatma, Viveka, discrimination. How does Shankaracharya describe Anatma in Upanishad? He gives 6 pointers for us to understand what is Anatma. If you understand what is Anatma, then only you will know what is Atma. The first point he says is Anatma vidhi pratinisheda lakshanaya. I'll explain to you. Once I explain the Sanskrit meaning, it will be very clear. Normally, our whole activity in this life is divided into two. It is divided into two. One is pravritti. That means you go after certain acquisition of certain things in life. And the second thing is nivritti. Our whole life. Suppose you want to describe our life in 2 words. Shankaracharya says you can define the life into 2 Sanskrit words, pravritti, nivritti. Pravritti means going after some things in the world. Nivritti means going away or rejecting some things in the world. Now, the Veda Purva Bhaga, the earlier portion of the Veda, deals with Pravritti and Nivritti. How to acquire new worlds of enjoyment. That is the topic of the topic of Veda Purva Bhaga, which deals with Anatma Lokas. So Vidhi and Nisheda is applicable to Anatma Loka. It does not apply to Atma. Because Atma is beyond Vidhi and Nisheda. Do's and don'ts. The Veda says you do these things, you don't do these things. But for Atma, there is nothing called doing something. It is pure Jnana. So that is the first discrimination between Atma and Anatma. The second characteristic of Anatma Loka, the entire Anatma, is very beautiful. This particular aspect of the way Shankaracharya defines Anatma is very, very significant, very direct. What does he say? He says the entire Anatma world can be defined in 3 words. Kriya, Karaka, Phalam. Kriya, Karaka, Phalam. These are the 3 words. Now, what are these 3 words? Kriya means action. Karaka means accessories. And phala means result of action. So our entire life, we are spending behind these 3. We are doing action. We are using our accessories, the body, mind, which is the cause of action. Without body, mind, there is no action. And then after doing an action, every action, we get the result of action. So the entire Anatma Prapancha is nothing but Kriya, Karaka, Phalam, Triad. Entire Anatma. And what about Atma? Atma is not a cause of action. It is not a result of action. Neither is it a Karaka, accessory for an action. See how beautifully Shankaracharya does this Atma Anatma Viveka. That is why I wanted to give you this. It's just a chart, but when you listen to me, you will be able to understand the depth of these characteristics. The third characteristics he says is Atmani Adhyaropa Lakshana. The entire Anatma world is a false superimposition on Advaita Atma. The whole world, our entire world which we experience, the three states, waker, dreamer, sleeper, consist of our whole world. Now that is a superimposition which is Adhyaropa in Atma. Dakshinamurti Stotram, verse number 1, clearly says, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam, Nij Antargatam. That means it is inside me only. This whole world, even though it appears to be outside, because of Maya Shakti, actually it is in Atma only, which is inside me. Me means here consciousness, which is Atma. So in this third characteristics, he brings out the topic of superimposition of the Anatma world in Atma. Three characteristics over. The fourth characteristic is Swabhavika. Swabhavika means Anatma means the world. Anatma world is not separate from Atma. There is no world separate from Atma. Like, for example, the anger in a person is his swabhava. It is his nature. But at the same time, it is not not his intrinsic nature. His intrinsic nature, the person's intrinsic nature is what? He is consciousness. He is Turiya Atma. But the Anatma world which we experience is Swabhavikam in Atma. It is not separate from Atma. Therefore, you cannot see anything. You cannot say that there is an Atma which Anatma which is outside me. These are very, very high level thoughts which Shankaracharya puts in one small paragraph as an introduction to this mantra in Kathopanishad. And very, very beautiful section. Then the next one is Agnyasya. Agnyasya means Dvaita, which is the entire world, is Ajnana Karanam. This is slightly abstract, but try to understand this. Atma is beyond Karanam and Karya, which we have studied in Mandukya also. But what about the world, waking world and dream world? It is Ajnana. It is a effect. It is a product of ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance that I am the pure Turiya Atma on which this world is superimposed. So this entire world is an erroneous product. It is not, it doesn't exist intrinsically in Atma. It is only a appearance. The last point which Shankara says about anatma is this anatma is samsara bijasya karanam. This entire Dvaita means what? The waking world and the dream world. And it is the seed of samsara. It is the seed of sorrow. It is the seed of birth and death. So Dvaitam and Advaitam is the central theme of Shankaracharya. Atma is Advaitam. There is no Dvaitam in it at all. It is independently existing. The entire Dvaitam is what this is called as Anatma. Okay. So it is very, very similar to Mandukya Upanishad, where Dvaitam is discussed in the first three padas. And Advaitam is given in the seventh mantra. The entire Dvaitam is Upashamam. Upashamam means it gets resolved. Where does it get resolved? It gets resolved in the Karana. Anything which is a Karya means it is a product. Like bangle, ring, and chain. They are Karya. Now, where do that get resolved? Into the Karanam, which is gold. Dream is a Karya. Where does the dream world get resolved? In the waker. Similarly, waking world is resolved in Turiya. And you have to keep Turiyam, the pure consciousness, Atma, and see it independently existing without the world. If you can do that, if your intellect is able to do that separation, at the same time understand there is no world apart from Atma, then you have understood the essence behind all the Upanishads. So this is a gist of Kathopanishad. I just wanted to give you. I was reading about it, listening to it, and I thought it will be interesting because Shankaracharya packages the entire anatma into 6 characteristics, which I have given here. Okay, now we'll enter into the third chapter of Mandukya Upanishad. It is called as Advaita Prakarana. 2 words you must never forget when you study Mandukya. Dvaitam, Advaitam. Same thing in Khattu also. Dvaitam, Advaitam. Without these 2 words, there is no Shankaracharya Bhashya. There is no Upanishad. Without these 2 words, Dvaitam, Advaitam. Dvaitam means what? Dvaitam means my entire field of experience, Kshetram, as said in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter. So Dvaitam means I am a waker or a dreamer or a sleeper, enjoying some world in front of me. But that is not my real nature. That is what we should understand. This body and mind is not my intrinsic nature. There is something which is higher. There is something which is what Kathopanishad Yamadhara Raja wants to teach Nachiketa. So in the seventh mantra, so the third chapter consists of 8 verses. Now these 38 verses, I'll give you the breakdown later, but here as an introduction, These 38 verses basically deal with only one topic, and the topic is Advaita. In the second chapter, we studied one word, Prapancha Upashama. Prapancha Upashamam, just to remember, what did we study last week? What we are saying is, this entire world which we are seeing is called as Prapancha. And this Prapancha is Dvaitam. Dvaitam means it is duality, plurality. And then this plurality is unreal when you look at it from the vision of Atma, Turiya Atma. Turiya Atma can exist independently. From that higher pedestal, when you look at the waking world, dream world, sleep world, all of them, they merge. Because in Turiya Atma, there is no world. Therefore, we say Turiyam is Advaita. Now, the world which we experience, Prapancha, is described in four different ways. What is the common thing about Prapancha? Common thing about Prapancha or the world which we experience is that it is Mithya. What is the definition of Mithya? Mithya means it is available for our experience, but it is not factually there. Like the moonlight. Moonlight is available for experience, but actually moon doesn't have the light. The light belongs to the sun. So similarly, what we should understand is all our experiences are there for anubhava. But what factually exists, like the sun has got the light, Atma has the light to give life to the world. There are 6 factors in Mandukya Upanishad: Vishwa, Virat, Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha. Vishwa and Virat belongs to which state? Waking. Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha, individual and total, belongs to which state? Dream. Prajna and Ishvara belongs to which state? Sleep. So the world which we call it as Prapancha can be described in these 6 words. That is one way. The second way is we can say it is 3 bodies and 3 objects. Gross body, gross object in the waking state. Subtle body, subtle object in the dream state. Causal body, causal object in the sleep state. This is another way of describing what the world is. We are not describing Atma. We are here describing the world. What about the third way? In Mandukya, we call it Prathama Pada, Dvitiya Pada, Tritiya Pada. Prathama Pada means the first leg, which is waking. Dvitiya Pada means dream, and Tritiya Pada means sleep state. Now, Padam, another way to describe these 3 Padas is Karya Pada and Karana Pada. Karana Pada is which state? Sleep. That is the cause. What about the Karya Pada, the effect, the product? Cause is the sleep state. The effect is the waking and dream. The first 3 padas are divided as Karanam and Karyam. The fourth pada, which is Turiyam, is neither Karanam, neither Karyam. It is Adhishtanam. The word Adhishtanam is a very powerful word, very deep meaning in it. Adhishtanam means without that, there is no word. It's substratum. So this fourth pada is given a name in Mandukya. It is called as Turiyam. And that alone is Satyam. That alone is Advaitam. That is what is said in the seventh mantra. Sa Atma Sa Vigneya. In the seventh mantra, the last sentence is that Turiya Atma you must know as your real nature. So what will you say then? I am Satyam, I am Turiyam. Whatever happens in the world is called as Mithya Karya Karana Prapancha. And whatever happens in the world, whether there is birth, whether there is death, whether there is any other changes, all our experiences, nothing happens to the Adhishtanam, which is Atma. Nothing happens to the screen, TV screen. Whether you see a movie where there is a tsunami going on or there's a huge fire in the movie, nothing happens to the screen. The screen is always free from any changes happening in the movie. Similarly, our whole life, so many things happen. And it's a continuous change. But what should I understand? Aham Nitya Mukta Turiya Asmi. I am the fourth pada. I am the pure consciousness in which there is no word, but without which the world cannot appear. Without the sun, there is no moonlight. Keep that example at the back of your mind. Similarly, without Atma, there is no world. Therefore, it is called as Advaita. In its presence, world is active. And the world becomes unmanifest. Another beautiful thing you should remember. The world we experience has conditions. Don't forget this in Advaita Vedanta. The world experience has got manifest condition, unmanifest condition. Manifest condition is called as waking and dream. Unmanifest condition is called as sleep. Who am I? I am neither the waker, dreamer, sleeper. I am the Turiya Atma, the Adhishtanam, the substratum on which this entire cosmos is coming, appearing and disappearing. See, this is a Mandukya study is an extremely subtle, abstract study of Atma Tattva. You must have a very, very subtle mind to absorb this knowledge. As you study, your absorption skills will improve. As you repeat the study again, suppose you study tomorrow, Sunday, I will be doing the second chapter there. So it is a very deep study. Now, let us look at 48 verses and what are the 5 topics which are covered in these 48 verses. I will elaborate on each of these topics and that will be the summary of the third chapter titled Advaita Prakaranam of Mandukya Upanishad. And then after that, there is a last chapter, the fourth chapter, which is Alata Shanti Prakaranam, consisting of 100 verses. Now, the 5 topics. The first topic is the introduction, Upodghataha. And the last topic is Upasamhara, conclusion. Introduction is in the first 2 verses, conclusion is in the 48th verse. In between, there are 3 topics. The main topic is called as Ajati Vada, which is from verse number 3 to 30. This is the essence of this entire chapter. Then details of Atma Jnanam are given one more time. And here it is called as Aspar Yoga. I will explain to you when we discuss the slides on the details. This is just a bird's eye view. So we have the introduction, we have the conclusion. In between the three topics are Ajati Vada. Ajati means non-creation. The world is not created, it is a projected world. Second is what is Atma? And the last one is how do I assimilate teaching? How do I regulate my thoughts? How do I reorient my thinking from taking the world as real to world as an appearance? How do I do it? That process is called as Nididhyasam. Gaudapada discusses how I should do this meditation or assimilation. The first topic, introduction. In this introduction, Gaudapada, he says, this entire duality is cause of samsara. Just now I said bijasya bijaha, samsara bijaha in Kathopanishad. Duality is samsara bija. Duality is a cause of samsara. Samsara, what is the meaning of samsara? Samsara means repeatedly taking birth and death. According to Veda, our birth, right now we are born, we are experiencing something. Veda says we have many, many births. After leaving this body, we'll be born again. Because we have ignorance. Now, samsara can be divided into two, Laukika and Vaidika. Laukika means worldly things. I go to work, that is called as Laukika samsara. Secular. The second is sacred. I do rituals. Vaidika rituals for going and enjoying higher lokas. See, the jiva, in his ignorance, he keeps on having desires, and for those desire fulfillment, he gets into action. Action produces results. And what type of results you get? You get a loka, you get an experience, you get your desire fulfilled. Now, even the upasana, which is a mental activity, involves duality. There is a devata, and I am praying to the devata, I am meditating on the devata. For example, you meditate on Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva. That is upasana. But upasana, the mental activity or the physical activity of going to a temple, both involve Dvaitam. And Dvaitam means time-space object. And time-space object means what? Yamadharma Raja is fully active because he will destroy the world every day for us. One day gone. Again, another new day comes. One day of our life is gone. Another day comes. Another day is gone. So this is what is called as change. Any change is samsara. We are all experiencing change, and that is what is called as samsara. Is there anything which is beyond this change? Yes, that is what is called as Turiam. In Turiam, there is no change. Turiam is changeless. Time alone is responsible for the birth, growth, decay, disease, death. These are all called as vikaras. Change. Change at the body level, change at the mind level, change at the world level. Now, all this is Dvaitam. Dvaitam generates fear. Why does it generate fear? Because whatever I want to hold, it can never be held. I want to hold so many things in life, but they go away from me. My own body goes away. Therefore, there is fear. And fear again brings samsara cycle. What Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya say is in the third chapter, know this Advaita Atma, which alone will give us freedom from fear and freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Knowing this Turiyam, which is beyond Karanam and Karyam, beyond cause and effect, same thing which Nachiketa wanted to know in Kathopanishad. What is beyond cause and effect? Same Advaita Atma was taught in Katho, and the same Advaita Atma is taught in the third chapter of Mandukya. Now, the sleep state and the samadhi state, they appear like Advaita. Suppose you sit in meditation, nirvikalpaka samadhi. That means all the thoughts are gone from your mind, only you exist in a thoughtless. Now, according to Vedanta, this avastha of samadhi is potentially Dvaita. Because all the Dvaitams of thought means Dvaita. So thoughtlessness is Advaitam, but that experience of Advaitam Samadhi is a potential condition of Dvaitam only. Therefore, it is not the ultimate state. So even in sleep, I can say it is Advaita. Advaita means what? I don't experience the world of Dvaitam, but it is not permanent. What is permanent? Something which lies beyond the sleep state is the Vastu called as Advaita Vastu, which is Turiya Atma. Knowing the Turiya Atma alone in all its characteristics, then I will get moksha. Then I am free. What is real Advaitam? It is beyond Karyam and Karan. So this is just an introduction to the third chapter given by Gaudapadacharya in two verses, 1 and 2. The next topic, which is the central theme of the third chapter. It is from verse number 3 to 30. And what does it say? The central topic is called as Ajati Vada. Ajati. Jati means birth. Ajati means what? Birthless creation. The theory of birthless creation. That is what is the central theme of Gaudapada and Advaita Vedanta. It is a very tough topic because we are trying to negate the whole creation. How? You have to know the process by which we do this. What the Upanishad says is there is something called as Turiyam, which is Advaitam, which is beyond Karyam and Karanam. Cause and effect is the world of Prapancha. Beyond this, there is a witness to this cause and effect. That witness consciousness is Turiya Avastha. It is Turiyam. It is Brahman. It is Atma. And this Turiyam exists independently. Therefore, by knowing the nature of Turiyam, I can get freedom from samsara. See how deep we have to go in the analysis in Vedanta. Nothing is born out of Turiyam. Therefore, it is called as Ajati Vada. Vada means viewpoint. So, Gaudavadacharya and Vedanta alone hold this view of Ajati Vada. What about other philosophers, Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Buddhists, Purvamimamsa, all others, they hold the view that there is a real creation. Really, the world has come up. So, negation of creation is done in two ways in this section from 3 to 30. There is a logical negation, logical reason given for negation of the Srishti. And there is a scriptural negation. Scriptural means we use the scriptures. I will give you three examples of verses from the scriptures which says there is no creation. So we use two pramanams. One is Shruti pramanam, another is Yukti pramanam. In the Yukti or reasoning, for negation of creation, we divide the entire creation into two parts. Jiva Srishti, Jagat Srishti. Jagat means it can be a dream world or it can be the world, waking world. Now, Jiva Srishti is compared to a pot space. And Jagat Srishti is compared to the total space. In the scriptures, we will also negate Jiva Srishti and Jagat Srishti. Now, how do we negate the Jiva Srishti? What we say is, let us take the example of a pot. A pot is seemingly born. Is it really born? No, because it is clay only. Clay, we say clay and the pot. This is a mistake in our Vyavahara. But actually, what is there? Only clay is there. So the birth of the pot, the death of the pot, the plurality of the pot is all mithya. It is an appearance. You can create 1,000 pots. Or another example is you can create 1,000 rings, bangle, but all of them is one gold. But in the case of pot, here the example taken in this particular chapter is the pot space. Is it created? When we say different pots are there, why do we say there are different pots? Because we look at the space in each of the pots and the space occupied by each of the pots, we call it different names of plural. Slightly abstract. But is the space born or is it one? Space is never born. In space, only the pot comes and the pot goes away. Similarly, consciousness in the body, like space in the pot, is never born. The jiva is born when the body is born, when the mind enters the body of the jiva, which is a seeming. It is a seeming birth. Birth, death, movement, plurality belongs to the body, anatma. Whereas the consciousness, which is like space, it is always there, it is eternal, it is changeless. And that is why we say there is no creation, it is a seeming creation. When you look at the dream world, it appears, it is very easy to understand this logic. Dream world appears real with time, space, and objects and transactions. Yesterday night's dream, all of you must have dreamt. But is it true? But during the dream, while dreaming, it was very, very real. On waking up, we realize all the dream was nothing but the thoughts. Similarly, this waking world, when we rise to the level of consciousness, Turiyam, we will say that the waking world is also exactly like the dream world. It appears real while in the waking state. From the high standpoint, when you wake up, Uttishthata, when you wake up to the Atma level, which is Turiyam level, we will say the waking world is also unreal, but real from the body stand. Okay? So this is the logic. Now, this logic, you need to think about it because first time you're hearing this, your mind has to this idea, has to contemplate. Then comes the scriptural negation of Jiva Srishti. Scriptures reveal Jivatma Paramatma and it says that Tvam Asi. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Atma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. These are the four Mahavakyams. Which means what? Scriptures say that you are that pure consciousness. You are at, when you are attached to the body, you are a jiva. When you are attached to the consciousness, which is the content in the body, which is the content in the universe, you are nothing but the same as this pure consciousness of Paramatma. So Paramatma is never born. Jiva is identical with Paramatma. Therefore, there is no creation. Creation means it is only seeming. It is there. It is appearing. It is Maya Shakti. There is some power in this world. So you tell yourself there is a Maya Shakti. I'm experiencing the world. When I drop the Maya Shakti, I am Turiya Atma. That is the easiest way to negate the world. You are negating based on Upanishad Pramanam. You are not out of your own will and according to your own thought process. No, you are using the Upanishadic scriptural verses. Now, Jagat Srishti, the world, is negated in three places. Many places are there, but I'm giving you three examples, three verses. We have done meditation on this verse some time back. Kathopanishad, Neha Nana Asti Kincha. There is no world at all. There is no differences between body to body, world, Jiva and Paramatma. No, all this is one only. All this is one consciousness. That consciousness has got a Shakti, which is called as Maya Shakti. That Maya Shakti projects this entire universe and takes it back. Again projects, again takes it back. From the highest standpoint, what is happening is there is a manifestation, unmanifestation of the world, but there is no factual world. It is a appearing world. Like what? Like a dream only. The dream just is projected. Because of what? Nidra Shakti. Nidra means I am the waker, you don't know. Therefore, you project a dream. Here in the case of waking, I don't know that I am the Atma, which is Turiya Atma, which is pure consciousness, always there. I don't know that. That ignorance is the cause of this entire Chakrapancha. Kaivalya Upanishad, na bhumirapo na chavanirasti na chanilo misti na chambarancha. There is no earth, water, fire, air. All these panchabhutas are appearing and disappearing in Atma. The one who knows this Atma in which the world is appearing and disappearing, he knows that the world is a seeming existence. Universe is not born, but how am I seeing it then? Sopra is not born, we see it because of erroneous perception. Dream world and waking world are both Mayikam. Mayikam means product of Maya Shakti. To whom does this Maya Shakti belong? To the Turiya Atma. Why is this world appears and disappears? That is explained in the Upanishads in a different, it's a different topic. Now, Purusha Suktam is the third scripture which Gaudapadacharya refers to. In Purusha Suktam, the third verse, Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayate. Ajayamano. The underlining word is Ajayamano. Ajayamano means what? Without being created, this entire world appears as a projection of this Paramatma. This Lord lives inside the universe, lives inside my body also, but he is never born. He is always there. World is not born, it appears to be born. It is Maya, Mithya from Turiyam stand. What is the absolute reality then? What is that Turiyam we are talking about? The Turiyam is neither the waker, dreamer, or the sleeper, but it is the Adhishtanam. It is the substratum on which this entire three states are coming and go. Gaudapadacharya negates the Jiva Srishti and Jagat Srishti and concludes that they are the appearances of the Maya Shakti. Like we have the rope snake. Rope snake is the waking dream and sleep state. Rope is the Adhisthana. Rope is the Turiyam. Since there is no Karya Prapancha, Turiyam is not even Kara. See, because we are falsifying the word, we are saying that Karanam, which is that Turiyam, because we are saying it is Mithya, like for example, because we say that dream world is Mithya, then we can say there is no creation of the dream world. Never the dream world was created. It was projected. So the projection and creation, two words, make a huge difference in Vedanta. What is Turiyam? Karya, Karana, Vilakshana. This is the toughest part of Vedanta Darshanam, but it can be understood. You see, when you go through this methodology of reasoning, and then you go through the verses in the Upanishad, it is a gradual process of the mind trying to grasp that pure consciousness. Verse number 31 to 39 is Atma Jnanam. Mind alone creates the duality and is responsible for samsara. Mind alone becomes free. When we say moksha, moksha means freedom of the mind, our freedom of the mind as me. Mind is the cause of samsara. Mind is the cause of all the sorrows in the world. Amani bhavaha, manonasha is the solution. Amani bhava means what? By knowledge, purely by knowledge, not by anything, not physically destroying the mind or the world. By knowledge of the Atma, you can negate the mind. And that is what is called as Mano Nashaha or Amani Bhava. Amani Bhava means what? The mind becomes non-mind. Destruction of problematic, burdensome, ignorant mind is called as Mano Nasha. Suppose I don't know this Atma at all. Whole life I will be only thinking about me, the body and mind, me, the body and mind. And then whatever surrounds my body is my samsara. Manobharam, the mind becomes very heavy. But suppose I drop this mind as unreal. By some luck, through some punyam of previous births, I have come to this knowledge of Mandukya Upanishad. So then what happens to the mind? It becomes an enlightened mind. Enlightened mind is can destroy the ignorant mind. So understanding the mind is an appearance, it is mithya, is called as amani bhava. Once this understanding is there, then we know that the mind is not a mind, it is just an appearance. That's all. See, most of our sorrows in life is all experienced in the mind. Physical pain is there, that is bodily pain. But the pain of the mind is very difficult to cross over unless until you understand there is an Atma, which is the substratum of the mind. I am not the mind, I am the Atma. That is the only solution for sorrow, which Lord Krishna taught Arjuna in the second chapter itself, from verse number 12 till to verse number 25. All those verses are dealing with only the mind. So both destruction of the ignorant mind and the mithyatva nishchaya is possible only because of Atma Jnanam. What Atma? Satya. Satya means what? It is eternally there, changelessly it is there as pure consciousness, as Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham Manyate. So, rope snake, when it is understood as an error, mithya, by understanding how do you get rid of the rope snake in your mind, which is an error, by knowing the rope, which is adhisthana. How do you get rid of dream? By understanding it as mithya, by the adhisthana waker. The waker is a substratum for the swapna prapancha, dream world. Waking Jagrat Prapancha is an adhyasa on Turiyam. The waking mind is, once it is understood as Mithya, by knowing the Turiyam Atma, then what happens? Then it is Amani Bhava. It is freedom from the mind because you have done Mithyatva Nishchaya. You don't have in Kathopanishad, Shankaracharya says, you don't have go and physically try to negate and eliminate all the physical world. Possible. You take it as one avastha and say it is mithya. Whole avastha is mithya. Waking avastha is mithya. Dream avastha is mithya. Sleep avastha is mithya. And there is no mithya without adhishtanam, satya adhishtanam. Satyam happens to be this Atma, which is Turi. So Atma Satyantika Bodha, Atma's reality, Atma as reality is called as Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha Yoga is a new term which is used in um, Mandukya Upanishad. Asparsha. What is the meaning of asparsham? Asparsha means it is relationless. This Atma is relationless. The baker has got relationship with the body, with the mind, with the baker has got all this, but then we are saying that the baker is mithya. In Advaita Atma, there is no duality, there is no relationship. Therefore, it is free from all types of relationship with Atma is not related to any of the body. Atma is not related to the world. Atma is self-evident, self-existing. Discovering this self-evident and self-existent Atma is the security which we are seeking in this world. In world, there is no security, but in Atma, there is security. Because it always is. The fourth topic is from 40 to 47. There are five topics. The last one is the conclusion. Now, who is the Adhikari for this Atma Jnanam? Adhikari means eligible student. Who is the one who is eligible? Acharya, in these 8 verses, he says there are 3 types of Adhikaris, eligible candidates. Mandadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. Mandadhikari means he does not have sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. He doesn't have viveka, vairagyam, mumukshutvam. He doesn't have any of these qualities. He has got limited qualification. There is no jnana phalam. Even if you read about this Mandukya Upanishad, if you have been able to understand what I'm saying, you are either a Madhyama or Uttama Adhikari. A Manda Adhikari will not understand, he will run away from the Upanishads. Madhyama Adhikari is one who has medium sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. That means Viveka Vairagya, then all the mumukshutvam and all the other qualities like tha, dhamma, sama, all those qualities which we have studied in Tattva. Now he receives the jnanam, understands, but sometimes he doesn't get the phalam because he has not done internalization. You see, this knowledge of Advaita Atma has to be first listened, Shravanam, Mananam, that means contemplation on this knowledge, and then Nididhyas. You have to dwell on the teaching yourself. Nobody can help you in that. Only you yourself has to, you have to think yourself. It is this ego, I, which is in the waking state as the waker, it is trying to understand its own intrinsic nature. And then it says, it takes the knowledge from the Upanishad and discovers the Turiya. What about the Uttama Adhikari? He has got all the qualifications. The moment the teacher says, Turiya Atma, you are, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, immediately he says, that is my real nature. He doesn't need anything else. And he is the one who has got the jnana phalam. So between jnanam and jnana phalam, there could be obstacles which are removed by contemplation and absorption, nididhyasana. Now, what is Nididhyasanam? What Nididhyasana means Samadhi Abhyasa or Vedantic meditation. It is a technique in Ashtanga Yoga where we drop all the activities, we sit in a quiet place, we draw the Jnana Indriyas and Karma Indriyas, and then dwell upon the teaching, which is what we do in our meditation sessions. What do? We take a mantra and then we dwell on it. That is called as Nididhyasana. By doing that, what happens? My mind becomes pure. Slowly, slowly, that projection power of the mind comes down. When that comes down, absorption happens. Then what happens? Aham Shuddho Asmi. I am the pure Atma. I am free Atma. Mukto Asmi. Asango Asmi. I am relationless Atma. I am not related to the body. I'm not related to the mind, because mind is for the three avasthas. Turiyam is beyond the three avasthas. Therefore, it is asangaha. Asangaha means relationless. Asparshaha. In this third chapter, the word used is asparshaha. Am I relationless Atma after Jnanam, before Jnanam, or throughout? Always I am Nitya Mukta, but I didn't know that because of ignorance. Through the Shastric study, I try to get rid of this ignorance and I shine. Inside me itself, I shine. So, depending on which samsara is troubling you, is it the desires which are troubling you in the world, or is it relationships with the world, with the which is troubling you, or is it any other portion of the world which is you are attached to? You can practice nididhyasanam based on what you are suffering. Fear of death. Suppose you have fear of death. Many people have come to me with this problem. Many seekers. The only solution is understand the nature of this Atma through study. First, I tell the seeker, you study the Upanishad. And then what do? Then you tell yourself, Aham Amruto Surupam Atma Asmi. First, without knowing the Atma, you cannot say, I am Amrita. I am immortal. That will be foolish. But when you study the Upanishads and then say, I am immortal Atma, it will have an impact on you and you will discover that immortality in you yourself. Withdrawing from everything and dwelling on this jnana, when it is registered, this Atmic jnana is registered well within your subconscious mind. This jnanam is converted into jnana nisha. It is firm. Like a pole, you want to make it firm, you put it inside on the earth, and give it some um, something to hold on, then that pole will not shake much. Similarly, our mind should never be able to waver from the Atma Jnana. Teaching is available during transactions, but that conversion from what to so what. See, in our life, we ask the question, hey, what happened? Then the next reaction from my mind should be what? So what? This is just an appearance. Tomorrow it will be gone. I will be again. I'm not so affected. That's what Janaka's in Ashtavakra Gita. The whole palace is burning. But then he said, so what? I am Atma. Nothing happens to me. So he just kept on. in his meditation. So, obstacles in meditations is another topic discussed in the third chapter. Very important topic. It comes in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, but the source of that is here, which is Mandukya Upanishad. So, in this section, four main obstacles in meditations are discussed. I have taken a very important, very deep analysis of this sometime back. And what are the four topics? What are the four obstacles? The first is called as laya, sleep. As soon as you sit in meditation, suppose you get into sleep, you have to come out of that tendency of the mind when the eyes are closed. Normal tendency is you mind says time to sleep. You should tell yourself at the beginning of meditation, I am going to meditate, I am not going to sleep. So this is solved uh, by your own commandment, laya. Then vikshepa. Whenever we sit in meditation, our mind is restless mind. It is you want to meditate, but mind never allows you to meditate. I mean, even for very trained jnanis also, when they sit in meditation, the mind may wander. It is a very natural tendency because mind is nothing but a bundle of vasanas. It is vasana ocean is there in all of us. There is a huge pile of vasanas, impressions, tendencies. They all it's like bubbles. They all come up as soon as there is some disturbance, or when you want to shut the external world, when you close your eyes and ears, what happens is the mind gets activated because of the vasanas. That restlessness of the mind, vikshepa, the solution for that is japa. Then the third one is kashaya. Kashayam means dullness of mind. Disturbances, murky disturbances which are staying, they are not leaving your side. It never allows you to meditate. Past tendencies. It is a type of vikshepa, but it is kashayam where it is some thoughts which are held, which keep repeating again and again. For Kashayam, the only thing is telling the mind that there is something which is beyond this, falsifying the mind and saying, mind is a temporary entity, it is false, it is an appearance. The last one is rasaswada, tendency to experience the temporary pleasure in meditation. Many people, they do that. Again and again, they want to sit in meditation because they enjoy that quietude. What Gaudapadacharya says that also is the obstacle. Don't get overjoyed because you are experiencing the quietude. It is only a first initial step. You have to cross over that and say, I am beyond quietude. I am the witness of the quietude. That is the way you get rid of rasaswad. By doing all this, what happens? My jnana becomes nishta, firmness in knowledge, and then jivan mukti is the phal for nididhyas. Jivan mukti means what? While living here itself, the jivat one which I am experiencing, the individuality which I am experiencing, I drop it as false. We all will experience the individuality even after getting the Atma Jnanam, after getting the Turiya Jnanam, we will still be experiencing the individuality, but it will not be troubling us because we have understood its falsity. It is a phenomenon. The whole Dvaita, the whole waking state, whole, the whole dream state, the whole sleep state, all the three states together is this Maya Shakti. Cross over this Maya Shakti and discover you are the witness of Maya. You are the substratum of this Maya. And deliberately say, I am pure Atma. I am not at all related to the Vyavaharika world because they are appearances. I am the Turiya Atma alone. The 48th verse is the concluding verse of the third. No jiva is ever born. Look at that. Look at the statement from Gaudapadacharya. Why is he saying it? Because it is only an appearance. Jivatvam, the individuality, is only an appearance. It goes away. For example, you thought you were a doctor, but then that goes away. In sleep, there is no doctor in you, but you are existing as what? As pure Atma. Suppose you are a lecturer, you are a professor, you are a cook, you're doing so many professions, but all the professions are all related to the mind only. Mind is a part of the body, and then both this exist in the waking state, in the sleep state. There's no, you are not an individual. That does not exist as a cause is this pure consciousness. That is the highest truth where nothing is ever born. Ajati Vada. See the conclusion of this 48th verse. It gives, see, in this whole chapter, what Gaudapada does is he in the second chapter, we have said it is the world is Mithya. In the third chapter, he says Atma is Advaita Swarupa. World is there, but it is an appearance. It is not real. It is coming and going. It is experience, no doubt, but it is only pratibhasika or vyavaharikam. But it is not paramarthika satya. What is the meaning of paramarthikam? Very, very important aspect of Advaita Vedanta. It is of a higher nature. Atma or Turyam is Satyam. Like the waker is Satyam compared to the dream. Atma is Turyam is Satyam compared to the waking. So our mind has to travel and hold on to this Satya Atma, which is pure consciousness, which is beyond the sleep state, and it is always pure. There is nothing in it all the time. And that is the Satyam. That is the absolute Satyam. The waking and the dream is Satyam. Waking dream, sleep, waking dream, sleep, waking dream, sleep. So many years you have gone through these three states, continuously changing. Waking dream, sleep, waking dream, sleep. But then, if this is mithya, if this is appearance, all three are appearances, there has to be a satyam. There cannot be a mithya appearance without satya atma. There cannot be a rope snake appearance without the rope. There cannot be appearance of chain, ring, and bangle without gold. So there is a substratum. Jiva alone appears and disappears. Whatever you may be a doctor, I told you, maybe a lawyer, you may be a computer specialist, all that is fine, but that is only limited. It is limited you. What is the limitless you? The limitless you is Turiya Atma and it is Satya. To know that world, that the Jagat is Mithya, I must know, first of all, there is a Turiya Satya. Aham Turiyam eva na paraha. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. That is the central theme of Shankaracharya. He concludes very beautifully, and that is the end of the third chapter. So we have done 3 chapters of Mandukya. Next week, I will start the 4th chapter. We will try to finish the 4th chapter, and the following week, we will see what we can do. Most probably, we'll start the Prashno Bhashya. Prashno Upanishad, we'll start. And next week, if you have any questions, more, if whatever, of course, you can ask questions today itself. And okay, so today's Mandukya session is over with this slide. Oh, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I don't see any messages in the chat box. If you have a question, you can ask them.
Shekharji.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Krishna. One question is, why it is called as Jagat Srishti? Is it not Ishvara Srishti? Is there a reason in
Yeah, you see,
Mandukya?
in the third chapter of Mandukya Upanishad, he takes Jagat. Jagat is basically, you see, Ishvara is there. Ishvara is the creator. But ultimately, what is he creating? He is creating the world. So it's a very unique thing. Gaudapada Acharya takes Jagat Srishti because we want to say that there is no creation as such. It is only, see, the topic in this third chapter is Ajati Vada. Ajati means there is no creation. And the focus is on the world. World is not created, it is projected. It is projection of Maya Shakti of Ishwar. But how he proves it, he actually, in this third chapter, he goes, I didn't expand on that too much, but all the theories of Sankhya, Yoga, all the theories are brought up, and then each one is discarded. That happens in the 4th chapter, but anyway, that we'll see next in the next class. But your question is correct. It should be you see, in Panchadasi and all, we see Jiva Srishti and Ishvara Srishti. But here the
Right.
focus is Jagat. Jagat means what I'm experiencing as this world, I want to discard, I want to negate that.
Is it Gaudapadacharya deliberately not mentioning Ishvara?
No. It's not a question of mentioning Ishvara, but here the focus, you see, the focus is on creation. You see, what the problem is, we all think that the world is created. And there are 2 types of creation. One is our own creation, which is Jiva Srishti. Jiva Srishti is our own thoughts. That is very clear. In Panchadasi also is very clear. Now, apart from the Jiva, what does the Jiva experience? Because the focus here is on the Jiva. Jiva is experiencing his own Srishti and he's seeing in front of him a Jagat. he is not seeing Ishvara. It is a Maya Shakti of Ishvara only is Jagat. But the focus here is what is the Jiva experiencing, and that is what is Jagat. You
I
will
got
know
that
the,
point. I got
yeah.
that point, Shekharji. But my question is, for any srishti, there should be consciousness
Oh yes,
involved. I mean,
correct. Correct. See, that is invariably there. See, without consciousness, there is no Srishti at all. There is absolutely nothing. Without the Turiyam, without Turiyam, see, the ultimate idea is for us, for Gaudapada Acharya, is to come to this Turiyam only. The focus of the whole third chapter is what? Advaita. Advaitam is what? Atma. He doesn't want to discuss the third pada, which is Ishvara pada. He wants to go beyond the Ishvara to the something which is beyond cause and effect. Ultimately, what is Advaitam? Advaitam is Turiyam.
Ji.
So, in order to reveal that Turiyam nature as Advaitam, he has to explain to us who is this Jiva, what is this world. So only when we negate this Jiva and the world, then only we can come to the Turiyam level, which is Advaitam. Advaitam means what? It is non-dual. Non-dual means, see, the way we understand is there are two broad things in the world. One is Dvaita, which we all know. Dvaita means me and the world. I, the Jiva, and the world. That is what is Dvaitam. World is what? Experienced. Who am I? I am the experiencer of the world. Now, this experiencer, experienced, is it real or is it unreal? That is what we have to understand. So, the moment I understand there is something which is the substratum, and this experience of Vaitam is Mithya, then once I know that Dvaitam is Mithya, Mithya means what? It is an appearance which is fleeting, it is there, but for every Mithya erroneous experience, there has to be a substratum. That substratum is Turiya. That nature of that substratum is what? Advaita. So, to come to this conclusion, Dvaita experience, which is Jiva and the Jagat, which is what constitutes the Jagat, which is what constitutes Dvaita. So the whole analysis is drop the Dvaitam as false, as a seeming relative reality, and come to Advaitam, which is the substratum, which is the pure consciousness, without which there is no Dvaitam at all. See, that is why I said that Kathopanishad analysis that Dvaitam is an appearance, and this appearance is because happening where it is Atmani. It is happening inside the. It is an adhyaropa. It is a superimposition on Atma only. That that is what we have to get. Are you
Thank
clear?
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think where I got the confusion is when the chart has been showing as Yukti and Shruti. In the
Okay.
Yukti portion is this Jiva and Jagat state.
Okay. Now it's clear, right?
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Sigarji, this is Manikanda.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have one query about once we negate the srishti, then there is nothing. I mean, even though it's a mithya, we negate it as mithya. But when we do the nidhyasana, our mind is always looking for this experiential shuga, that is Vishaya shuga. So how to because when we negate everything, there is nothing to be enjoyed, or this
So
bhokta is not available. So
correct, correct.
how we can be means how we can pass our time where nothing to do. So this is always pushing us into the Vishaya Sugha to look for some experience. So
Correct.
how we can overcome this difficulty of
Okay.
mind dissolving into the Atma?
Okay. You see, your question is very good. What you're saying is that our experience, okay, we want to experience this Atma as the pure consciousness, which is always there. We want to experience that. Now, this pure consciousness, uh, I, I cannot experience that pure consciousness all the time because of the vasanas. See, the vasanas will not allow me to experience that pure consciousness all the time. That is why there is waking, there is dream, there is sleep. Again, waking, dream, and sleep. Now, it is only jnana. Jnana is understanding that whatever I'm experiencing is false. It is appearance. It will come, it will go. You see, that is what is called as asparsham. Asparsham means your relationship, your relationless Atma. Atma is always pure. Its nature is it cannot accommodate anything outside it. It has to be pure brilliance, consciousness alone. That is the nature of Atma. It does not allow a wee bit of Dvaitam in it because that is the nature. That is what Nish is saying that Advaita is its nature. Now you have to understand that it is its nature and then also understand the nature of Anatma. What is the nature of Anatma? Nature of Anatma, it is changing. It is plural. It is always continuously fleeting. See, Anatma, which I said in the beginning of the class today, you can't change that. You see, the nature of Anatma is it has got a subject, it has got instrument, which is the mind, the body. You can't change that. So Anatma, you understand as Anatma. And then what do? You say Anatma has no existence without Atma. That is the most crucial point in our understanding of Vedanta. Anatma's existence depends on Atma. Atma's existence does not depend on Anatma. Atma can exist by itself as pure consciousness, and therefore moksha is possible. Why moksha is possible? Freedom. You see, what is moksha? Freedom from identification with the body, mind, and the world. Where does this freedom exist? Not in Anatma. It exists only in Atma. So, as you gradually study this Upanishad, what happens is your mind today is still gross. You're not able to appreciate how that break happens. That break happens only when the mind becomes pure. The mind becomes pure, the break happens automatically, then that's what is called as self-realization. Till that time, you have to continue the study. You have to continue and keep on uh, learning the Upanishads. See, for example, we have completed second chapter. Now, third chapter, we have got some idea. Now, on Sundays, we are doing the second chapter in detail. And then we will be doing the third chapter in detail. So when you do those a little bit more deeper analysis, what happens is the mind becomes more clear. The mind gets clarity, the mind becomes more pure. This purity, unless until it happens, then only this consciousness shines brilliantly, and your own intellect will say, I am the Atma. There is nothing else. It's just pure I alone exist, and your intellect gets convinced. Till that time, continue. Just continue listening. I may not have answered
Thank,
100%, but I'm giving you the path.
thank you, Secretary. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello, Shekhaji. This is Niranjan here.
Yeah, Niranjan.
Yeah, the definition of Anatma is very good, Shekhaji. It's a different perspective. But what is the subject of Anatma, Shekhaji, in the definition that you're given?
Yeah, the subject of Anatma is Panchabhutas. All the objects which are in the universe is the subject matter of Anatma. That means all the objects and the beings. You know, I see you, you see me. So all this is nothing but Anatma. Whatever is Drishyam is Anatma. Another definition of Anatma is Drishyam. Drishyam means seen. Whatever is seen, perceived is Anatma. Whatever is perceived by our five sense organs. Five sense organs together with the mind. Without the mind, the sense organs have no power to see, to hear, to listen, to taste, to smell. So Panchabhutas, if you have studied Tattva Bodha, it says very clearly, Anatma means the sense organs perceiving the five sense objects. Eyes seeing form and color. Ears hearing sounds. The tongue tasting different food. And so on.
Sorry, Shekhaji, just to continue on my query, you said like mind and the body are accessories as per the definition. And whatever we see is actually the scene or objects as per Dridrisha Viveka. So everything that we see is object actually, it's not a subject.
Is Anatma.
So if that is the case, my question is, what is the subject in this Anatma definition?
Oh, okay. See, the subject in the Anatma definition is the reflected consciousness.
Okay.
See, consciousness, Turiya Atma, pure Atma is what I am. But when that consciousness gets reflected in this body and the mind, like for example, there is you have got suppose you say I'm the face. My face is reflected in a mirror. My mind is like the mirror. My mind is subtle body. It reflects consciousness. The moment it reflects consciousness, I wake up. When I wake up, I become the subject. I means what? The ahamkara, the ego. I throughout my week, the I is nothing but the waker, dreamer, sleeper. So subject is the reflected consciousness with the mind. Now, what are the other accessories? Jnana indriyas, karma indriyas, these are the other accessories. With the help of accessories and the reflected consciousness, what do? I keep performing actions, which is called as kriya. Kriya, karaka, and phala. Phala means what? It is the result of action. So who is the jiva? Who is Niranjan? Niranjan is a reflected consciousness. Together with what? The mind which has got vasanas. Because of vasanas, tendencies, you have taken up a body, a physical body. So this kriya, karaka, and phalam, together, Shankaracharya says, it is anatma. It is not atma. What is atma? The pure consciousness, which is ever there, changelessly it is there, but the reflected consciousness is born. It's born when the body is born. Consciousness never is born. It is the reflection also is only like the space in a pot. The pot space is never born. Pot space is seemingly born when the body is born. Similarly, consciousness is seemingly born when the body is born, the mind is active.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, it's very clear.
Good.
Hari Om, Shekhar. This is Jayaprakash.
Yeah, Jayaprakash.
Previously also you told about the word Pratibodha Vididam. Will you please once again make me more on the subject?
Okay. See, Pratibodha Vididam. This is the central verse of Keno Upanishad. Is the definition of Atma in Keno Upanishad. What does the Keno Upanishad says? Keno Upanishad says that there is something called as Samanya Jnanam, which is called as general awareness. And then there is specific awareness. Bodha means knowledge. Now, all of us, we experience two things. One is pure awareness, which we are, which is my nature. And the second is bodha, which is specific knowledge in the waking state, dream state, sleep state. Specific knowledge is what? I am a waker, I am a dreamer, I am a sleeper, I am a male, I am a human being, I have this body, I have these characteristics. What Keno Upanishad says is, before any specific knowledge arises, there is Atma. Prati Bodha. Prati is a prefix. It is before any knowledge, there is I knowledge.
Oh.
I am is Pratibodha. I am body, I am person, I am a human being, I am all that. That is what is called as specific knowledge. Pratibodha is Atma. I am is Atma. So every knowledge in the world is accompanied by I am knowledge. First, I am is consciousness. That is what in Keno Upanishad the teacher wants to teach the student. Bodha, you all know. You know physics knowledge, you know this specific knowledge you got. That is what is called as knowledge of objective. That is what's called as objective knowledge. Pratibodha is subjective knowledge, which is consciousness. I am is consciousness. I am is Pratibodha. Everything else is Bodha of the world.
That means you are telling that I am always there.
That's correct. Now you got it. I am is there in your sleep state or not? It is there, but I didn't know that thing. That is what is the Upanishad is trying to teach you. In sleep state, you are there as what? I am. Not as a sleeper, but you are there as I am, which is the pure consciousness. Sleeper comes only when you wake up. When you wake up, you say, I went to sleep, which is the ego I, which has got up. And it's trying to remember what happened in those 8 hours when it was not available to the world. So that ego, I, which is a reflection of consciousness, discovers its source. And that source is what is called as Atma. That source cannot be known by any other method except through the Upanishadic Vakya, Mahavakya. Upanishad Mahavakyam says that Pratibodha is your real nature. Very beautiful Bhashyam is there of Shankara Bhashyam on this Pratibodha Viditam Mata. in Kino Upanishad, you can, if you go to my website and if you go to that particular verse, you can see a wonderful Bhashyam. You can read the Bhashyam and you can see very, very beautiful. It is a Mahavakyam, and Shankaracharya writes very beautifully.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Okay, anybody else? Okay, there are no other questions. We'll stop today. And then we'll continue next week. Hopefully, we'll finish the summary of all the Upanishads. That probably next week will be the last session. And the following week, we will start Prashna Upanishad. Maybe next week, maybe we'll finish early. I'll see. I'm not sure. But the following week, we will be starting Prashna Upanishad Bhashya.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Shekharji. Thank you,
Thank you,
Namaste.
Shekharji.
Hari Om Shekharji.
Ayo. Thank you.